Welcome back to Kearney Creek Farm. Today it is raining, so I'm inside, and I thought it's something that I don't see very much on YouTube at all. And because it's extremely exciting, you're going to love it. Well, not really, but it's something that I've learned that we use here on the farm every once in a while, whether we're laying out, we're doing fencing, or laying out for, say, an orchard, fruit trees or fruit bushes or whatever those things are that you might have to space or have accuracy on. And that is my staking kit. I know it sounds extremely fun, but I think every farm or homestead should have one of these. And basically I just keep it in let's keep the stakes, which are just wooden stakes you can buy at Home Depot. I have, these are 21 inch, I think. Tape measure. 23 and a half ish inch by inch and a half by about 5/8. Anyway, if you're trying to plot a corner or a location for, like I said, a tree, trying to space them, because with trees, you got to know which variety you're planting, obviously, and what the recommended spacing between trees is. And so to do that kind of layout, you need some way of staking them and measuring. So what I keep for measuring is one of these DeWalt 300-foot tape measures. That comes in really handy. And click that back on. So you're able to measure from, say, a property line or a fence, or say you're measuring from one tree to the next. You can figure out that location, and you can use marking paint. Get a couple cans of marking paint. I just have this kind of hot pink or fluorescent pink color because it's easy to see, because when you're old like me, it's nice to do that. Besides that, you'll need a little mini sledge to drive these into the ground. And if you wanted to, say you're going to plant different varieties, you got to remember what went where. You can either keep a Sharpie, one of these Milwaukee Inksol, the bigger ones, and you can write either on the stake or you can flag it. And I have this orange fluorescent tag, and you can just tear some off of there, tie it around your stake, and identify whatever it is, the corner, elevation, variety of tree, bush. Say you're laying out a garden, you can stake where your different rows are going as far as the vegetable you're growing. And it's one of those things. I know it seems really exciting, but tell you what, this stuff really excites me, actually. If you're looking for any kind of straight string line or a straight line, you can use string line. Again, hot pink, because it's easy to see, easy to identify. And if you're going to say you're going to do an offset, which is where you would put a string line that's not directly where you're going to be doing something. Say you're putting fence posts, but you don't want the string to be in the way. You can do what's called an offset. So you just create in your head, say you want a 2 foot or 3 or 4 or 5 foot offset. You put your stakes, let's just say 2 feet off of where your posts are going to go. You run the string line from stake to stake to stake, and then use a tape measure to measure off of that string line to the center of your fence post, for example. So that's just one way to use offsets. Aside from that, I picked up these pink flags because I thought they might come in handy as, more, not so much trying to be accurate with something, but just kind of flag. Again, this would be great for garden rows, so you can identify what's being grown there before you can tell, because sometimes with gardens, they're just so big that you just forget what went where. Speaking of that, a clipboard and a pencil. Comes in handy. I use graph paper so I can actually plot out if I need to. Again, to be redundant, you can plot out your garden or your trees, bushes, what have you. And I believe that's it for my staking kit. I'm trying to figure out a way to consolidate more of this stuff into one easy to, maybe a tote might be good, or a second bucket. Probably. Excuse me. But right now it's kind of the downtime. We have our sheep are out in pasture. They're out there with the ewes are out with our breeding ram, and he's doing his job, getting these girls knocked up, so that we can look forward to lambing season, which will happen sometime between February, March, maybe late January, depending on how he's doing. Aside from that, it's just the usual stuff. I've done some, the gravel around the farm has just been, the weeds have been terrible this year. So over the last Saturday, I ran the land plane over and try to kind of fluff up the gravel and knock down a bunch of weeds, but I can see right now that they're just pervasive. They're just, and I'm trying to find a good weed killer, and I'm being lazy because I don't stop by the farm store and get it. I keep thinking it's going to be winter soon, and all the weeds will die, and I'll take care of it next year. So let's see. Aside from that, I do have little projects to keep me busy over this downtime. Speaking of, I'll be starting a video series. Well, maybe one or two videos. There in one of our barns, we have these things called jugs, and basically they're pens. And what they're used for is when the ewes are delivering, we had to take the ewes and their lamb or lambs and put them in a pen together so that the lambs will learn that that's their mother, and they'll be safe and away from other ewes and other lambs, so they can bond, they can nurse, and hopefully grow up to be healthy sheep. So I need to convert a bunch of the stalls that used to be for horses and cows, which are a little bit, they're just the wrong shape, and we need to change them, kind of reframe them, and put gates on each one, and then put feeders and waters and everything else in there, so that it's like a it's like a little suite basically for the ewe and her lamb or lambs. Dogs are running around, and it makes me wonder what's going on. So that's coming probably. I have to have that done by lambing season, so that's going to be again probably in the spring or late winter. So it's not a big rush right now. There's a lot of other things I got to take care of. Still have to take care of the rest of those hides. I've got to. They're all out with tanning solution that's dried on them, and some are looking good and some are looking a little bit weird. But I think it's because the skin came off a little bit better, but it left a tiny bit of skin, as opposed to the thicker skin that tanned more brown. These are tanning more white, and it's new to me, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But that's kind of a little farm update for today. Aside from that, it's just the usual, just fix this, fix that. But I appreciate you guys stopping by the farm and taking a look at my thrilling staking kit, which I believe every farm and homestead should have. So make sure you do this. It comes in super handy, especially if you're working alone. Anyway, I'll end it there, and we'll talk to you guys next time. So just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, this is an area of one of our barns that someone had blocked off. We've only lived here for about a year, so we're not quite sure of all the history of everything on this place. But you can see it's pretty much a space here that's been blocked off by 2x6s. We'll have to remove those 2x6s and then put in basically some walls that, or some railings that go from back here or up here to back there, and create pens. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this whole area looked the same as that area. And what I did is these were actually divided up into small pens. That from this one here went back to that one right there. And so I had to cut those out to create this space. And it's probably about maybe 8 by 6. And I added these gates here, added these hay feeders and a mineral feeder per jug or pen. So they're all the same. These ones here are currently being used for our livestock guardian dogs. But there's one right there. That's Fern. Say hi, Fern. Anyway, and but they will, as they grow up, they'll be living with the sheep. Hi, girl. That's where we keep their food. Some buckets. I see one of them just decided to destroy their bed. That's great. I better clean that up. But anyway, that's kind of a look at what I'm talking about. I had to add all these gates. These areas here, these are larger. They're probably, I don't know, 30 by 12-ish each. There's 2 of those, and there's a smaller one down there. And these are used for when they're just, see, we have lambs that need to be separated at some point. They'll all come into these more common areas, or we call them general population or gen pop. And we kind of just use these areas to sequester whoever we need to have removed from somebody else. But that's that. And this is where we keep a myriad of stuff. It's kind of a freaking mess right now, but we're constantly in transition of doing something. Like, for example, this Stanley kit is full of like first aid kit and lambing, assistant lambing care, I'd say. And we want to take that and put it into this Milwaukee pack out system here. It's just larger, easier to get into and work with. And the lambing kit, that's an interesting thing. I'll show you that sometime. It's pretty cool. We've learned a lot of lessons over the past few years about what lambs need when they're in trouble for some reason. But yeah, we'll get to that later. There's going to be a lot of videos, hopefully not too dramatic, but because each lambing season can be a real worrisome. A lot of long nights. Well, hello, boy. You want to say hi? Yes, I know you do. You're a good boy. Let's head back over here to this. Oh, yeah, I've got this. This is hanging up here because I had to wash it out and then let it hang to dry because dogs like to pee on it. So I usually use that in my rock sore here to keep stuff organized. So anyway, I'll stop rambling now. Just wanted to give you guys a peek at what I'm talking about over there. But again, thanks for showing up on the farm, and thanks for letting me take you on a tour, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and by the way, shout out to Crispy Chicken. Thanks for watching there, guy. Thanks. Bye.